begin with orthographic projection. As such, we have been doing this, like whatever projections of solids, projections of solids we are doing. So as more or less this orthographic projections only we are doing, right? All the same, now we'll have standard 2D view. That's what we'll be discussing henceforth. So my system is hung a bit, so might take a little time. Yeah. So let us begin with recapitulating whatever we have discussed earlier, right? So what actually here we are trying to recall are the planes which we use for the projections. So primarily, of course, we have been using the principal planes, that is the horizontal and vertical plane system. And then we obtain the front view on the vertical plane and the top view on the horizontal plane, right? And the pictorial representation for the first quadrant formed by the vertical and horizontal plane system. Then we had set of auxiliary planes also. We had auxiliary vertical plane, right? So these were perpendicular to the horizontal plane, but they were inclined with the vertical plane, right? Then we had auxiliary inclined planes. These were perpendicular to the vertical plane, but these were inclined with the horizontal plane. Okay, and then we had another category, profile planes, and the profile planes were perpendicular to vertical plane as well as horizontal plane. Okay, so these are the three categories. So beyond this point, that is for this topic, orthographic projections, what we'll use for the projections are vertical plane, horizontal plane, and the profile planes. That is, primarily we'll obtain front view, top view, and the side view. Okay. So we'll be discussing this, and yeah, this already we have discussed. We'll be using horizontal plane, vertical plane, and profile plane so as to obtain front view, top view, and side view. Now here we could have two possibilities. One is when we assume that the object is in the first quadrant. Okay, so for this case, it is referred as first angle projection. Okay, so here this set of planes, vertical and horizontal plane, representing only the portion corresponding to the first quadrant, right? Only that much portion of the two planes is shown, which could represent the first quadrant. And then say we have the set, to complete the set, we have a profile plane also. Okay, so now we'll assume that the object is in the first quadrant, that is one thing, right? And then we'll project it on respectively on all these three planes. And as we have been doing earlier, we'll have to then rotate the projection except for the projection obtained on the vertical plane, that is front view. Whatever projection we obtain on the vertical plane, that we keep as the standard thing, and then rest of the projections we'll try to obtain in the same plane as that of the vertical plane. So we'll rotate the horizontal plane and try to align it with the vertical plane, and for this case we'll also do the same for the profile plane. Okay, so horizontal plane rotated, brought in the same plane as the vertical plane, right? Then it will be like this. So the object, like this dot behind this arrow, if we consider, if this is assumed as the object, then this one, if here is the object, It's projected on the front vertical plane, front view obtained. This projected on horizontal plane, and the horizontal plane rotated and made it aligned with the vertical plane. So we obtain the top view in the same plane. This we have been doing, of course, so we are very well conversant with this. Now for this case, we'll be then rotating the projection obtained on the profile plane also. So profile plane also will be rotated and will be aligned with the vertical plane. Okay, so we'll have the system like this, right? So the placement of the three views, right? We had reference of three views in some of the questions what we solved earlier. So the three views are placed like this. We have this front view here, then top view below it, and the left side view at the right side of the front. Okay, so this is how we will be obtaining it. Now, next we could imagine that the object is in the third quadrant. So if you recall, we had earlier discussed also, like whenever we go to the extent, that is, we begun with the projections of points, then we move to lines. Until then, placement of object in any of the planes was actually considered, and then we are obtaining the drawings. But beyond that, we tried to keep the object either in the first quadrant or the third quadrant. And the reason for the same was that front view and top view were then obtained above and below the XY line, and they never uh, overlapped. So that is why keeping them in first quadrant or third quadrant was useful. So the same thing we will be continuing with here as well. So the arrangement as per the first angle projection we have seen here. Next, let us have a look at third angle projection method. So again, set of planes. Now their orientation is changed a little. So vertical plane is here, and the portion this horizontal plane what is shown is for beginning from the upper part and then going behind. So this zone here will be representing the third quadrant. Okay, then we need a profile plane also, just like the previous case. Okay, now we look in the same direction as we have been doing for obtaining the projection, right? And again, for this case as well, when front view is obtained on vertical plane, it's kept at the same location, but the top view and side view will actually be obtained in the same plane as that of vertical plane. And for this, what we do is we rotate the relevant plane. So top view will be obtained in the horizontal plane. So horizontal plane will have to be now rotated and aligned with this. So it will go above. So these are the usual directions of viewing for the different views. For front view, this arrow. For top view, this arrow. And for side view, this is left side view, of course, this arrow. So these arrows actually are pointing the direction in which we are looking at the object so as to obtain the projections. Yeah, so now whatever top view we obtain here will again, as the horizontal plane is rotated, then we'll acquire this. So if the horizontal plane comes in the same plane as the that of VP after rotation, so here we have front view, here we'll have the top view, and thereafter this profile plane also to be rotated, right? And then that also comes in the same plane. So this is the arrangement again for the front view and top view and the left side. So this arrangement is as per the what you call third angle projection. So if we compare the two, there is a difference in the relative placement of the views. So as far as front view and top view are concerned, there those two you have already seen, like so many problems you have solved. So front view and top view, how are they? I mean, relatively placed or with respect to each other. How do we obtain them? One above the XY line, one below the XY line, like that. So that thing as such you have been doing. So for the object placed in the first quadrant, we get the front view above the XY line and top view below the XY line, right? And for this object placed in the third quadrant, you have it the way it is shown here. The previous one was shown in the previous slide. So for third quadrant, front view is below the XY line and this top view is above the XY line. So this part remains same. Now for this chapter, orthographic projections, we have the side view as the extra thing what is being discussed. So you see left side view is at this side, that is with reference to front view it is at the left. But if we consider the previous slide, here you see the left side view here is placed at the right of the front view. Front view is here and at its right we have placed the left side. So the placement varies. And to keep this in mind, you can consider that when we are rotating these planes, like object is here, okay, object is here, and then the top view is projected here, then what's happening? Thereafter, the horizontal plane is being rotated and brought in the same plane as vertical plane. So this rotation is being done away from the observer. Observer will be here. For the top view, observer is here looking in the downward direction. Object is somewhere here. Okay, observer here, object here, and the plane of projection is at the opposite side. So you see, object is in between the observer and the plane of projection. This is plane of projection. Here is the object. Here is the observer. In the coming slides, I guess it will become clearer. There it is further explained, right? But here also I thought I'll discuss, because this plane system, what we have been discussing in the previous chapters, the same is shown over here. Right, so this is the thing, observer, then object, and then the plane of projection. And then plane of projection, when it's being rotated, see apparently it moves away. Observer is here, so this plane tends to move away from the observer, right? For third angle projection, this order will change. Let me repeat, observer here, here object, here plane of projection. So object is in between the plane of projection and the observer over here. Okay. Now if in the next slide, if we consider, you see, for this case what will happen? Let me bring this complete slide onto here. So you see, observer again is here, object is below this horizontal plane in the third quadrant, so below the horizontal plane. So observer here, then the plane of projection, and then the object. So the plane of projection is in between the observer and the object. In the previous one was, what was there? Between the plane of projection and the observer, the object was placed. So that is the one difference. Also, like see this motion of this horizontal plane, if you consider observer is this side, so this rotation begins in such a fashion that it is starts to move towards the observer, like that you can keep in mind. Okay. And of course, for the purpose of drawing, all you need to remember is this configuration. That is, left side view is at the left of the front view, top view is above the front view for the case of third angle projection. That is when the object is assumed to be kept in the third quadrant, right? Front view here at the left side view, above the front view, top. Okay, and just the opposite will be there for the case of first angle projection. So we'll have a look at one more demonstration about the placement of planes that probably might make it more clearer, right? Before that, we can have a look at this to comparison, little bit of comparison, I would say. So we can follow either of these two, first angle projection method, or we can have third angle projection method. So for first angle projection method, we assume that the object is placed in the first quadrant. Here it is placed in the third quadrant. Then these features also we observed, like top view is below the front view, left side view is at the right of the front view. This is for the case of first angle projection, right? And the right side view is at the left of front view. Here top view is above the front view. Here it was below, here it is above. Left side view is at the left of the front view, right side view is at the right of the front. Then earlier it was conventional to represent, like if some drawing has been drawn following any one of these standard method, then in order to make it clear whether it is drawn using the third angle projection or the first angle projection, it was conventional earlier to represent it symbolically. So we'll see what kind of symbols were used, right? Symbolic representation of the method adopted for the drawing. So this one is for the, so it's a frustum of cone whose front view and side view actually has been shown over. Okay, so to represent a first angle projection, this is the symbol, and a similar symbol you have for the third angle projection. Okay, so the difference, of course, the orientation of this frustum is changed here and here, as you can see. So you see, if this is the frustum of a cone placed in such a fashion that we are seeing this kind of trapezium here, then if you have the right side view, that will look like this. One circle corresponding to the base, one circle corresponding to this top. Okay, so it will look like this, but this will be the right side view which looks like this. And this right side view has been placed at the left of this front. Okay, and the same way if we consider, here the orientation is changed. If this is the front view, the orientation you can see is changed. So the same kind of view is shown over here again, two circles, but this will be corresponding to left side view for this case. So the left side view is kept at the left of this front view. So this represents the third angle projection method. Okay, so these are the symbols used. Next, let
So
us
can you explain this once again?
this one.
Sir, I did not understand these symbols.
Okay, so one thing is that this is a frustum of a cone. That is fine. Like this thing is fine. This looks.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, you see, for the case of this first angle projection method, what will happen? If we consider left side view, it will be at the right of front view. And if we consider the right side view, it will be at the left of the front view, right? So here,
Yes, sir.
if we consider this particular orientation corresponding to this kind of view, if we consider, so if you are looking from this side, right, then you will have one circle. This will be visible when we are looking from right. This will be visible. This top, it will look like a circle. Okay, and this is the bottom. So the bottom will form the boundary. It's wider as compared to this top, and therefore this will also look like a circle. Now see, if we are looking from right, then only we'll see two continuous lined circles. Otherwise, if you look from left, then what will happen? This wider part will be in the front and this will be at the back side. So this will become dashed. This inner circle, if we are looking from left, then this will become dashed, right? So then we won't have this shown with the continuous line. So that means this is supposed to be only the right side looking from this side, right? So that is why this is representing the what do you call first angle projection. Okay, because this right side view is placed at the left of this front view. I hope it is clear now.
Sir, my doubt was only that whether the trapezium is the front view or these concentric circles are part of the front
No,
view.
that you can, if you consider like that, then also, I mean, it will be consistent with first angle projection. I mean,
Um,
I consider this as the front view, but if you want to visualize, we can go like that also. Suppose I consider this as the front view, right? When
yes,
I look from the left, okay, then
yes,
only
sir.
this top part will go in this direction. Otherwise, if you look from right, then this wider part will be this side and this top part will go to the left, right? So this then
Okay,
has to be the left side view, which is placed at the right of this. Okay.
okay, sir.
If we assume this as the front view, then also it is valid, right? That is your choice. You choose either of them to be the front view, no problem. Okay. And here it will be opposite. You can try to visualize sometime later. Okay. Yeah. Let us now have further look at the whatever we have discussed in the previous ones. Bit little bit more clarity. Here also an object is considered to visualize. So again, this first angle projection method, object is considered in the first quadrant. So here is the object. Then for front view, top view, and side view. These are the directions considered. That is, the observer is looking in these directions. So here for front view, we obtain on the vertical plane. Okay. Likewise, top view is obtained on the horizontal plane, and then the side view on the profile plane. Right. The same thing whatever we discussed in the previous slide, right? And this is the relative placement of the view. This thing what I was referring to, that is a bit more clearer here. So you see, observer is here. For front view, if we consider, again my system got hung. Need to wait a little. Yeah. So you see, observer is at this location. Here is the object, and this is the plane of projection. So the object is in between observer and the plane of projection. Object is in between these two. Okay. Likewise for side view, if you see, observer is here. Here is object, and then we have the plane of projection. So again, object is in between the plane of projection and the observer. The same is for top view. Here we have the observer. Here is the object. Here is the plane of projection. So consistently for all the cases, the observer is in between the object is in between the observer and the plane of projection. And this is the relative placement of the view. So here we'll always go with reference to the front view. Front view placed here, then left side view will be placed at the right, and top view will be placed below the front. XY line you need not draw, right? I'm repeating, XY line is not needed to be drawn. Okay, with reference to whatever dimensions you will have for this, we'll be placing these. The same dimensions for
Sir,
this. Yes, please.
sir, I am having a doubt, like how you are telling that side view is left or right.
How you are telling, see, if we decide that this is for front view, we are looking from this side. Okay, this arrow is showing that we are looking at the object for front view from this side. So with reference to this, if you are looking from this side, you are obtaining left side view. If you are looking from this side to the object, I mean looking from this side means observer is here and looking at the object. Observer suppose is at this side where the pointer is, and now looking at the object, then it will be the right side view. And this is all with reference to this location of observer for the front view, with reference to this. Okay. I hope it's clear now. So next, the same thing for the third angle projection. So you have the object, right? Then this a top view we look from here. Here is the horizontal plane, which is between the object and the observer. And then here we get the top view. Likewise, here the vertical plane, okay? And the observer is looking from this side, and this gives you the front view on the vertical plane. And then this is the profile plane, and for the side view looking from this side, and again this is the side. So as I had mentioned earlier also, for front view we are looking from this side, then if we look at from this side on the object, it will be left side view. If we look from this side like this in this direction, then from this side if we are looking, it will be right side. And the relative placement, sorry, here you have the relative placement. Front view with reference to the front view, top view is above, and left side view is at the left side. Okay, so it's more or less easy to remember also. I mean, if it is third angle, then you see left side view is at the left side of the front view, top view is above the front view, like for first angle it will be opposite. Left side view will be at the right side view will be at the left side of the front view, top view will be below the front view. Okay, now this one here effectively represents all the possible standard 2D views. So in the orthographic views, you see finally what we actually are trying to do is we are trying to obtain the 2D view. Okay, and this actually allows us to draw the exact dimensions, that is the object, the relevant dimensions parallel to this plane are drawn with the exact dimensions. So that is the advantage with this drawing. Okay, so this view, whatever has been here shown, this is termed as a box type view. This allows us to consider maximum possible views to be obtained for any object when it is placed. This more or less is actually in correspondence to the third angle projection method, because you can see that observer is here and here is the plane of projection, and behind that is the object. Here one thing you will notice here, it's mentioned observer at infinity. So this actually meaning of this is that when we are trying to obtain this particular projection, then we are considering a parallel rays falling on the object, right? And for any location, see this line is parallel. This line, I mean, all these are parallels. This one, or suppose from this end point, this one, right? Or from this corner, this one. So all these are parallel rays which are assumed to fall on the plane to give this view. Okay, so this kind of thing will occur when we assume that the observer is at infinity. That's why it's being in particular referred here. Now, for this kind of placement, see, in all the three dimensions, everywhere, we actually have considered the planes. Like here you have one plane parallel to this, another is at backside. One plane we considered here parallel to this, another is this side. One is at top, one is at bottom. So it's encompassed with the flat planes from all the three possible directions, right? Now let us see the relative placement of all these. And here it is showing that these all planes are opening up, right? So here we have the front view. So this front view is remaining at its location, and then see this side view is opening up. This will get aligned with this vertical plane. Top view, the top surface opening up, it will also align with this. The same goes for the bottom and left side and back side. Okay, so first of all, front view, and with reference to the front view, then everything else is to be drawn. So here we have the top view. This opens up, comes at the above the front view, right? Here we have the right side view. Then you have the left side view, this side, and the rear view also. And then below you have the bottom. So this apparently gives you all possible views of an object, right? If you consider the planes all around it. So if you use any later on, you will be learning the softwares, and then you will have different views. So these kind of all possible views you will be able to get. Overall, you see, with this coordinates also, it has been represented. So see, this is XY plane for the front view considered. So for top view, of course, it is XZ, right? Y is going in the vertical direction. So Z will be perpendicular to these two at this location, perpendicular to X and Y. So that ZX is representing the orientation for the top view, right? Likewise, this YZ for left side view, and this YZ orientation of Z is reversed for the right side view, left side view, right side view. And then the dimensions which are remaining common, those are also shown. So like this width here, if you consider, in the same correspondence, you will have the top view also between the same two lines. This is one boundary line, one boundary line. Within the same projectors, you can have the top view, right? Same goes for the bottom view. And then whatever is the height is from this up to this. On the same height projectors, you will have right side view, front view, and the left side. All. Okay. So that is all. This actually is giving us maximum possible views, but generally we won't require these many views. Generally we'll require, say, either front view, top view, only one combination, or it can be front view, top view, and side view. Generally this much only is needed. These additional views, whatever have been shown, these might only be required for very intricate object. It is having so many different features which we want to be able to see in different views. Then only more than this is required. That is, apart from front view, top view, and side view, anything extra is only needed if object is having very much complex features. Okay. Yeah, so this is about all this standard 2D views what we'll consider. Okay. Now we can have a look at a few examples. Okay. So now here an object is shown, and for this we need to obtain the front view, top view, and side view. Okay. Whenever it is given that draw the three views, then we can draw front view, top view, and side view. So now here, if in this such something has already been adopted, but suppose if it's not mentioned which one is front view, then you might always have a choice that you can have the front view by looking from this side, or you could have front view by looking from this side. Of course, top view only will be by looking from this side in the downward direction, right? But for front view, you will have a choice. You can have front view by looking from this side or by looking from this side. So for this case, best possible choice is to have front view from here. Okay. Usually we should try to identify the front view, which will be giving us majority of information for the drawing. Okay. So this is for front view, and this also the same has been adopted. Will be projected like this. So of course, no drawing as such will be with the colors, but here in particular colors have been used so that we can visualize a little easily. So you see in the front view, what is visible to us is this surface with this, right? This, all, right? Which is marked here. And you can see actually each of these lines, like this line where the pointer is placed. So this line actually will represent this surface as such, right? Because this will be looking like a line. Same way, if we consider this line in the front view, this will actually be representing this surface. Or likewise, if we consider this vertical line, so this vertical line is actually representing this vertical surface, and so on. So this surface, pink one and this one, these two are distinctly visible in the front view. Okay. Then for the top view, again you can identify this surface will be completely visible, right? Then this will be visible, and then this will be visible. Okay. This surface is actually vertical, so this will look like a line. This also is vertical, will look like a line. This surface L shape, this also will look like a line. Okay. So this is what we have for the top view. Okay. Then the side view, again the same thing. This surface will be completely visible, right? And then this one will be visible, and this one will be visible. Okay. Rest which are perpendicular to the direction of viewing the object will be looking like line. This pink one, this will be looking like a line. This pink one also like a line. This top surface will look like a line, right? The same goes for this one as well as for this one also. So this is for the side. So we can now have the placement of, so actual drawing will only be like this, right? Here some colors are there. Not supposed to have any colors. It will be having only the line diagram, you can say. Okay, but for the sake of ease of demonstration, this has got colors. This front view, okay, then top view, and then this side. So you see, this is the front view. The left side view is at the right. So this is of course first angle projection, right? And top view is below the front. Okay. So this is as per the first angle projection method. And we can have a look at one more example. Yes.
Sir,
Can you further it out? Yeah.
sir, where is the observer for rear view?
For real, see, as such, we have to keep the observer at the same side effectively. But of course, you can imagine that observer is at the position of observer is at the rear side only, because the features will then be visible. Otherwise, they won't be visible. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. But as I mentioned, no, of course, I mean, it's good to have it in mind, but otherwise, generally, these will be needed only for very intricate shapes or where there are some complex small features. So then these kind of views are generally needed.
Sir, we generally consider observer to be at infinity.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So the point is, like, if we consider like say similar to a light source, suppose light source is at infinity, then if you have any object in between, then you can assume that all the rays are falling onto the object are parallel to each other, right? So it is just in the same fashion. So observer is at infinity, that means whatever in the direction of viewing, if we consider the rays, then those will be parallel to each other. That is the only thing. If we consider that observer is nearer, then what will happen? This effect of a thing being nearer to you or being away from you will come. So something which is nearer will be bigger, will look bigger. Something which is away from us, I mean, suppose if we choose two things, they might be of the same size. One is nearer to us, one is away from us. So the one which is nearer will look bigger, which is away will look smaller. So if object is considered at a finite distance, this effect will come. If it is at infinite distance, everything will fall with the parallel lines onto the same thing. So the exact size we will get, right? That is why this concept is kept here. That is the observer is at infinity. Okay, we can go ahead with this one. And beyond this, again, I'll take a class tomorrow, and then Wednesday we can have only for the case of doubts, right? Like that we'll keep. Yeah, so again, for front view, we'll look from this side. Now see, again, this part, that is where the pointer is now, and below this part, again, we have something which is not completely visible to us in this diagram, but this flat surface continues from here up to here, right? And this is additionally a protruded flat surface. This also is visible. This is visible. The one below this, which is not clearly visible now, but that also will be visible, and this will be visible, right? So this is the front view, right? So this part from here to here. So this part is not visible here, but it is existing. We can make it out by looking at the object. It's very much evident that flat surface is continuing up to this point. That is shown here. This protruded part is marked over here. Then this one that is marked here. Okay. So this is our front view. Then top view. Okay. Now you see, this is visible. This also is visible. This part up to this, and this is visible. So this looks like this rectangle, right? This rectangle is because of the topmost surface here, right? For the surface shown by the pointer, we have a rectangle marked here. Then this part from here up to here. So this complete surface up to this location, from here up to here. This is all marked with this green, light green color again. Okay. Then we have a dashed line here that is corresponding to the, if I see here at the location of this pointer, there will be an edge which will be going below this protruded part from here up to this end, right? So that is actually marked with the dashed line. This is an edge which is hidden, right? One hidden edge here. So that is marked with the dashed lines.
But sir, above the hidden edge, there is visible edge, no? Then how you
No,
can
it's
decide?
not coincident. No, see, this distance is more, this distance is less, right? So this edge is at this location. Okay.
Okay, sir. Got it,
Yeah.
sir.
Then we'll have the side view. Again, this face is completely visible, right? Then here corresponding to this one edge again will be dashed, corresponding to this point vertically downward from this pointer location, vertically downward, you will have again a hidden edge, right? So this yellow part, this outer boundary is formed by that. Then from this pointer, and you move in the horizontal direction like this. Okay, so that edge is marked here with the dashed line. Okay, then I keep the pointer here, and then I move vertically downward. So because this protruded part is there, so corresponding to this, we'll have one edge here. So that again is marked at this location. So this way we get the side view. Okay. This is the front view. It's not dimensionally not so good, right? Here, this is giving a better view. Here this is a bit skewed. This is very thin, this is no, but at least the shape we can make out, right? For front view, the top view, and then the side. Now here you see, whenever we come across such a situation, we have to draw the three views. For this example, if we say, so this front view fine, here drawn, the top view also fine, but for the side view, if we have a choice, then you see a right side view will be a better choice. You see this dashed line, this dashed line corresponding to this edge or this vertical edge. These things actually will become visible if we are having the right side. So drawing the right side view will be a better option. Okay. Yeah. So maybe one more example we can have a look. And this already I
So
have.
better means we have to draw it, but I mean we have to judge it ourselves, or it is
Yeah,
just
I
a
mean,
choice.
see, suppose if choice is there, then you can judge it like this to decide. That's what I'm saying.
Sir,
Suppose only the object is given, like for this case. Okay, so only the object is given, and then you have been asked that you have to draw a front view, top view, and side view for this. Then what I'm saying is the choice for the front view, whatever is there, that is good. Choice for top view anyway is fine. But the choice of right side view will be a better choice. And now in a problem, if it is given that, okay, you have to draw front view, top view, and left side view, then you don't have a choice. You don't need to apply your mind. But if it is not given, you try to think in this fashion, the way I am explaining. Yeah, somebody was asking. Yes.
but sir, how
So
to decide which is better, right side view or left side view?
That's what I was saying. You see, here the left side view is ending up with these hidden edges. But if we have right side view, we'll have all the edges visible to us. There are no hidden edges. So why to draw a view when we are drawing a view, right? And we have a choice. Why to draw for where some features are being hidden? It's better that we draw where for the visible features. That is the reason I am saying that right side view is better choice. Also, like one more thing, let me mention. See, I am saying front view is a good choice. Now, suppose if I consider the front view from this side, you see, if you have maximum dimension, like bigger dimensions we are having visible in this direction only, right? So wherever you are placing the front view, in correspondence to it, you will be placing the other views. So if it is taking up maximum dimensions, then rest of these will be taking relatively less. Of course, the width for front view and top view will always be same. Width part will be same, but then like this dimension will come from the depth, right? But the width will remain same. But the side view again, you see here the dimension will be less, so it will acquire little less time. So choice for the front view will be with say one thing as I mentioned, which is having say prominently bigger dimension. That is one thing. Apart from that, which is giving us maximum possible features. So based on these two things, we can decide which one should be the front view. Okay. And also whichever views are giving us maximum visible parts, those are a better choice to adopt for or select. Yeah. So is that fine, or do you have anything else also? So time as such is over, so maybe I'll stop here. These slides I have already uploaded. Lecture when gets ready, I'll upload the same, right? Tomorrow I'll further discuss a little bit about dimensioning, right? And little bit maybe one or two problems, right? And then day after tomorrow we'll have the class only if there are any doubts. Okay, so I stop here.
Sir, will we have tutorial on Wednesday?
Yes.
So could you please provide